Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome into another edition of the Big Men on Campus podcast. It is Thursday, May 30th, 2019. Another weekend already about to come to us here. Quick week, obviously, with Memorial Day. I'm heading down to the shore. Very excited for that. So, it's always good. You got to get ready for that. I went out, washed my car today, cleaned it out, did all that spring stuff. So welcome in. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. We are one step closer to football and NBA Finals getting going tonight. Warriors and Raptors up in Toronto. It's funny. There are so many Raptor fans all of a sudden. You always see that. Here's what I want to make clear. If you are a fan of a team, okay, and you decide that when the going gets tough for the last 20 years, you don't just stop rooting for them. You don't just stop, supporting your team. You root for who you are. And look, if you're in like a media base or you're doing some sort of media and, all of a sudden you become a Raptor fan all of a sudden, that's a big violation. Because when you're in like this kind of business, whether you're at this level or you're up to the radio or wherever you are, people should know what fan of the team you are. Look, if you don't care about basketball during the regular season, you don't care about basketball for the first round of the playoffs, you just hope that they get to the finals and then you root for them. Weak, really weak. But welcome in. If you're out there, please say hello. Make sure you hit the like button. Retweet the show on Twitter if you can. That's greatly appreciated always. Before we get into the show today, and we need a winner or two here, which we'll get. I'm sure of it. I do want to kind of put something out to the listeners, and I want to get you thinking about something. You can share it throughout the show. Whatever you have, but I was thinking last night about something, and I don't think it's talked about enough, and I've never really seen a legitimate list. But what are, like, when you rank the best feelings a human can have, what's your top 10? Because I was thinking about that in my own head last night, because for whatever reason, obviously where I'm at, it is pretty warm. It's in the 80s, so I have the air conditioning on, and look, I'll say this. Air conditioning is one of the great inventions, essential air. But so I was thinking last night, it was for whatever reason, I normally, and most people don't wear shirts when they're at home, but I don't either. So, I was hanging at my house, and I started getting a little chilly. I was to the point where it was kind of cold. It's so cold in your house, you almost get cold. And I had, been planning to take a shower, but so I get into the shower and I realized, you ever just look at the shower and think to yourself, wow, this is pretty amazing that we can just do this whenever we want. You want to get clean. You want to feel good. You want to take a long, wet, warm shower. You can do it. And I thought of all this because I saw a picture of like a kid in Africa that was so happy that he was having a bath, a warm bath. He never has one. And I just kind of thought about, what are the greatest feelings we have as people, whether they're literal feelings or emotional feelings. I came up with a few, and I want to hear some other people's. Obviously, the warm shower is always a go-to, especially after a long day or you're just been out in the cold or something. There's nothing better. Getting into a freshly made bed. I make my bed every day. I don't get in my bed if it's not made. To kind of on top, fresh sheets are even better. But a great bed is so important. I got a new bed about 6 months ago, and let me tell you something. If you are living on a bed, you have a bed that you need to get a new one, go out and get yourself a new bed. I'll tell you what, man, it is the cat's meow. Once you get over like 25, there's nothing better than a great bed. Great pillows, great everything. We take it for granted, but it's a great feeling. Obviously, I will never know what heroin feels like. I've heard it's the greatest feeling you can have. I'll never know what that feels like, though, so I don't really have a comment on that. Obviously, being drunk, pretty good feeling. You don't obviously want to deal with it the next day, but when you're kind of in that wavelength where is there any better feeling when you're at a club where, you're whacked, You don't got to wake up the next day. You got a fine honey baby, grinding on you. I mean, is there anything better than that? I mean, really, let's be real. A good meal, it's always a great feeling. Financial success, not worrying about bills, that's always a great feeling. Obviously, ejaculation is a great feeling. That 3 seconds, 5 seconds of complete climaxed pleasure is quite unbelievable. It's hard to even describe, actually. So I don't know why I think about this stuff, but I do. And I was curious about what other people thought as far as the greatest feelings you can have. Yeah, I mean, we all the time take for granted where we are and what we have and that kind of thing. Wi-Fi, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, Wi-Fi is something you just kind of assume. That's a good one. A cold beer, any kind of drink. You haven't had a soda in a long time, a nice Coca-Cola or a beer or any drink really. It's a great feeling. College graduation, that's a good one, but it is almost scary as well because you do have to obviously face the real world, but definitely something that is cool. I've never experienced that. Great tasting well water. That's interesting. I actually have drank well water. My parents have a well. Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm a big bottled water guy. I know it's bad for the environment, but many people know I'm a big Fiji water guy. So, I don't drink a lot of well water, but I would think it's probably very good when it's nice and cold. The wind in your hair riding a jet ski, that's a great one. You know what? That's a really good one. I experienced that, and I'll experience that next week when I'm on my own jet ski. When you got the water where it's like really calm and you're just flying on your ski, it's got that chill in the air because it's so, you're going so quick. It's not beating sun. That is a good feeling. That's a good one. But we'll revisit these as the show goes on, just something to get you thinking here. And I know the ejaculation one is weird because, if you're a woman listening to the show, you don't really know what we're talking about because obviously if you're a male or woman, it's kind of a different feeling. But all the fellas know what I'm talking about here. But all right, let's get into some baseball here. We could talk about great feelings forever, but I'm sure there are people out here that are joining the show and saying, what the fuck are you talking about? We're talking about great feelings, great things that we don't, we just kind of, another one, getting your head rubbed by a woman, putting her hands through your hair. Great one. Absolutely tip top. All right, interesting card tonight. We'll start out Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Milwaukee getting bet up here. A lot of people like the Brewers, and for good reason. Look, I was a fan of Joe Musgrove early on in the season, but he has really struggled. And you're almost getting to the point with Joe Musgrove where if he's at home, it's best to fade Joe Musgrove. Joe Musgrove has had a lot of issues, and this Pittsburgh baseball team right now is having a lot of issues in the rotation. The bullpen is having trouble. You look at over the last 7 games, Pittsburgh opponents have scored 54 runs and are hitting .317. Not good right now if you're Pittsburgh. The pitching has had issues. The bullpen's starting to show weakness. Also, keep in mind, this is a big thing. Francisco Cervelli is out right now. A lot of the pitchers have good rapport with Francisco Cervelli. Keep that in mind. He's a good catcher, one of the best kind of underappreciated catchers from a defensive standpoint we have. So keep that in mind. If you know anything about Musgrove, okay, I'm making this clear. Joe Musgrove, Cervelli, both Italian. They have that Italian culture connection. If you know Musgrove, Musgrove actually wears an Italian horn. Cervelli very attached to his Italian heritage. They have a good rapport from a pitching perspective. Look, I don't know if that means anything at all in this game, but it's something to keep in mind. Pitcher-catcher rapport is important. Right now, when you're a pitcher, you want your catcher out there. He's not going to have Cervelli out there tonight, and he's not pitching well as it is. You look at in 4 games at home this year, Joe Musgrove, an ERA over 6. 3 of those 4 starts have gone over. In fact, when Musgrove pitches, 6 of his 10 starts have gone over the number. So you're making some good money betting overs with Joe Musgrove. Throw in the fact that, let's be honest right now, guys, both teams are hitting the ball at a high level. These are 2 good lineups. Obviously, you got big boys like Josh Bell and Christian Yelich and Braun and Kane and Moustakas and all those kind of guys. Both these teams hitting the ball well. But you look at these Pens, all of a sudden, outside of Hader, I believe Hader. I think he's their closer still. Outside of Hader, there's not a lot of success in this Milwaukee bullpen. In fact, you look at both these bullpens. All of a sudden, Milwaukee's got an ERA at 5 on the road. Pittsburgh, they have an ERA of over 5 at home. I'm seeing a total at 9 here. 2 good lineups. Musgrove's had trouble. 2 good hitting teams here. Not worried about maybe taking a venture here on the over. 2 of the last 3 Anderson starts have went over the number. It's definitely nice in Pittsburgh. You look at around the East Coast, very nice weather. Going to have good hitting weather. Let's take a look at the weather. Wind. Wind kind of blowing out. I don't know if this game's going to be played. It's rainy, but we're kind of in the thought process that it will. You got 90% humidity, 75 degrees. Should be a good hitting night. That's kind of one I lean on. It's not a premium selection, but it's something I did have my own. Look, I do like the Brewers as well. I think this price is fair. But the Brewers, I just don't know if they're an automatic bet anymore full game. The bullpen is not good for them right now. I think if you like the Brewers, they're a team I have to bet the first 5 right now. And with Musgrove's issues, I have interest in that. Who do you like tonight in the Warriors or Raptors? I will get to that. Stick around. We'll get to that after baseball, as usual. Does Philadelphia have a feral cat problem? Yes, a major cat problem. That's something that is something I've talked about. There's a bad feral cat issue in Philadelphia, particularly in less inclined neighborhoods, put it that way. But yeah, cats are everywhere in Philadelphia. Big issue. Something they need to clean up. In fact, I did a live one time, and I actually was in Philadelphia, and I discussed that feeling. I'm not a cat guy, I've mentioned that. Does it really come from Fiji? Yes, it comes from the aquifers of Fiji. In fact, on the back, it's discussed. It's bottled by Natural Waters of Viti Limited, Yagara, Fiji. As tropical rain slowly filters through volcanic rock, it gathers electrolytes and minerals that give Fiji water a signature smooth mouthful. So yes, it is straight from the islands of Fiji. Being free from jail, I'd have to imagine that's a great feeling, especially if you do a lot of time. I've talked about. I have a couple of friends of mine that are currently incarcerated. 2 of them have done over 3 years. They still have a few more to go. I'd imagine. I know a guy, and this is a true story. I know a guy in Philadelphia that did over 30 years in prison, and he's talked about that feeling. At certain points, you almost kind of get numb to it. Will you ever go home? But having that thought that you're going to go home, I'd have to imagine is a great feeling. In fact, that's an idea I have for a TV show, following individuals that get released from prison, and they're basically following them from intake to walking out the door to how they kind of acclimate back to life again. I think that'd be a fascinating TV show. Obviously also taking a look at innocent individuals that get let out. There's a video on Al Jazeera America. They did a video of a guy, older guy probably in his 70s. He did like 40 years in prison. And he's a New Yorker. He takes the train to New York, Penn Times Square, and it is absolutely fascinating to watch him look around and see stuff. And he talks about how, he's amazed that people are just talking to themselves. He thinks they're all agents because they'll have the headphones in their ears and stuff. He goes to like a supermarket and he sees that you can actually get peanut butter and jelly mixed together, and he's blown away by it. Fascinating. If you've never seen it, take a look at it. It's on YouTube. It was like a little series where they followed this guy around. Fascinating. Raptors and under. We'll get into it in just a second. Big man, nice cut. Go to LA. My barber can give you a clean fade. Okay. I'll go to LA to get a fucking haircut. Why the fuck would I go to LA for a haircut? I mean, seriously. Why would I do that? I go to my barber, who I've went to for 15 years. Teddy B, though, making the comments. Not surprising. All right, let's get back into baseball. A couple other games here. Dodgers and Mets, making this clear. And Ian Cameron called it last night. I want to give him a shout. Great call by him on the over last night. I don't know how you bet unders right now with Mets games. This bullpen is completely atrocious. They have nothing. Atrocious. Dodgers don't have a lockdown one either. And Jason Vargas is pitching tonight. Good thing about Ryu, while he's been very good, he's getting a ton of support. I mean, all of his games are going over the number. It's not because he's not pitching well. It's because they're giving up he's getting a ton of runs scored for him. This is just kind of something I'm seeing right now. We would consider, I think, going back to it again, and I'm going to go back to it here, team total over with the Dodgers. When you're going to put out 8s with the Dodgers, I'll gladly lay 4.5 and get a team total over here. You're facing a guy in Vargas who you should be able to hit. Problem is the total's 5.5, which is surprising. On an 8.5, you rarely ever see a team at 5.5. So again, you don't like it as much. But I'm not really sure right now how you take Mets totals. Not when you're in the 8s, how do you not take them over? I get the feeling this is like an 8-2 type of game. I think the Dodgers will do some good things on the plate. I liked 4.5. I somewhat like 5.5. They should score 6 to 8 runs here, I'd imagine. I mean, this is a bad team from a pitching perspective right now. How about a great foot massage? That's a good one. Any massage in general is a great feeling. Is it easier from Toronto to Newark to go to Atlantic City or flying to Philadelphia and then drive? I would fly. Well, I mean, you can fly into Atlantic City, but you're going to pay more, and you can only, I think, take Spirit. But I mean, if you're asking me would I'd rather fly to Newark or Philadelphia, if you're doing it at night, I'd fly into Philadelphia. It's all highways. You can be from the airport to Atlantic City, and I mean, if you're going at night, I mean, at worst an hour. I mean, you don't really know the route, so it might be a bit longer for you. But yeah, I wouldn't drive from Newark to Atlantic City. It's a lot further. You got to travel, kind of through some bigger areas. When you go from Philadelphia to Atlantic City, it is straight highway the whole way. You're literally on the highway the entire time. There's no back roads, no nothing. So yeah, I would fly into Philadelphia for sure. What's up, Underdog? All of you guys for watching. Thank you. Got to see a lot of new names in here. Guys that don't normally comment. Ty, J. Yim, Carol, Alan Action. Alan Action always talks. Alice M. Thanks for watching. Saying it's raining. It's raining in Pittsburgh. Is that what you're saying there? I don't know. You got to be more specific. What else do we have here? Thanks, Ty. Appreciate that, buddy. I try to answer all the questions. I'm going off the top here. My friends think Tim Tebow is the greatest football player of all time. Yeah, I don't think that's out of the question. Tim Tebow was an elite player. I'd have to look at the other options. But yeah, I would think he's right up there. Thanks for watching, Leroy. Alice M says it's raining in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think you're going to dodge raindrops all night. The question is it scattered or not? All right, Twins and Tampa Bay. This is going to be the free play of the day, all right? I'm not buying it here. I'm not going to buy it. And I think as a sports bettor, you have to be willing to not buy these spots, okay? You have to be smart. You have to see these things. And I see a team in the Twins that has one of the best road records in the major leagues. They've won 12 of 14 overall, and they're getting a big dog price back. I'm not buying it. I'm not fucking buying it. I think this is a price that a lot of people, squares, are going to jump on. I'm not seeing it. I get why you would want to bet it, and I know a lot of people will bet it. I'm not going to do it, though. I'm going to go the other way. I think Morton, we see an elite effort out of him tonight. I think he shuts down this lineup. And look, I know Martin Perez has been really good. In fact, he's been elite. But I like Tampa's pen a little bit more. We know they're going to be able to handle business here. Weird things happen in Tampa. And you look at this line, okay, it's very simple here. Minnesota's won 12 of 14. A lot of people are going to look at this and say, wow, I'm getting plus 140 with Minnesota. Perez has been awesome. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'll lay it here. I can lay 150 in this game. I don't do this very often. But I'm going to do it tonight. I think Tampa gets the job done here. I'm not going to fall into this trap with Minnesota. I think a lot of people are going to do this. And it normally doesn't work. Mama didn't raise no fool, as they say. She ain't raising not one tonight either. Give me Tampa at your free play of the day. And here on this show, we don't just fucking throw shit out. We tell you why. There's so many problems in this business with fucking people that tell everybody plays, yet give us no reason for it. Why are you doing this? Listen, if you're doing it because it doesn't make sense, tell us that. Explain that process. And I'm going to say this again. If you're taking picks from someone that you've never seen, you don't know their real name, that's an issue. It just is. There's a reason they don't want you to see their name. You don't know who they are. There's a reason for that. I'm just giving you advice. I'm not saying follow me. I'm not saying don't follow me, whatever. I've come and seen a lot of shit. Whether you think it's believable or not, I always am here every day. I'm the most accessible person you can find in this shit. When I win, I'm here. And you know what's great? You can go look at everything I was on. Last night I had the under or the over in the Diamondbacks game. It didn't win. I didn't have a premium play, but everything I do is there. It's tracked. Everything is there. When I have a bad year, you see it. When I have a good year, you see it. When I have a moderate year, you see it. And what I'm about to do, I'm about to be in the fucking public eye like no other. So, look, I've seen it all, okay? When you're watching someone's video, look, there's a lot of people I don't particularly have a fondness for. But I'll give them the respect. They get on the fucking camera and give out plays. Guy like Jimmy the Bag. Him and I are not fans of each other, but I respect the fact that he gets on the air and talks about stuff. It's not easy to share your opinion on things. It isn't. I'm not a fan of the way he does stuff, and he's probably not a fan of how I do stuff. But I respect the fact that he's willing to get on the air and give out games. You know? People know who he is, you know? They've seen his face. Too many people don't do that. So yeah, I'm gonna rock with Tampa here. I'm gonna rock with Tampa. I'm gonna lay the juice. I'm gonna lay the 150, and I'm gonna rock with it. Who's that guy that called you a scammer? You have to articulate a little bit more. A lot of people call me a scammer. So I don't know. You got to be a little bit more specific. That's another thing that's very much taken for on Twitter. People don't know what scam means. A scam is when you tell people your kid has cancer and then the kid doesn't have cancer and you just take it. That's a scam. You know? A scam is selling picks, getting all the money, and then you never see that person again. That's a scam. A scam is saying you have a book for someone to bet on. They win and they run. You win and they run away. That's a scam. A scam is not someone that you buy picks from. You tail them for 2 weeks, they don't win, and they're a scam. That's not a scam. Okay, I know people think it is, but it's not. A scam is not someone that you decide to tail that night and they lose. That's not a scam. A scam is not someone that sells picks. You don't like what they're doing, so they're a scam. That's not a scam. You bought the picks. They didn't do well. You know the rules. They didn't do well. This is not a fuck. You don't just pick stuff out of the air and say, I got games here. If you're dealing with someone and they've won 138,000 units over the last month, there's probably a reason for that. You know, everybody has the keys. Oh, I have a losing play, but hey, I bet this game live 6 different times, so I actually made money, even though you guys didn't. I made money. I don't work like that. I don't give out live bets. I don't give out fucking shit that nobody has. No one has live fucking, cricket. No one bets that. We have to stop putting certain people up to, where are these, that's not a scam. It's really odd. Really odd behavior. But hey, again, if you have any questions about me or anything that we do, feel free to ask. I don't duck from anything. I can't really duck. I'm here every day. What's up, Jalen? The Sopranos question was a good one. It's tough to stump me, and I couldn't think of that one. Yeah, it's a good one. You can always get someone on that. So, yeah, for me, I'm going with Tampa. I'm going to lay the 150 here. I don't ever do it, but I'm going to do it tonight. One more I want to talk about. White Sox, Cleveland. Why is this total 8.5? And why is it dropped from 9 to 8.5? I don't know if anyone's seen Banuelos, but he's been horrific. He's been one of the worst pitchers in the major leagues. But here's that old issue again, and we've talked about it on this show. Cleveland has a weird way of making teams and pitchers look real good. I remember a couple weeks ago, I backed another team that they faced because they just make everyone look like Cy Young Award winners. Carrasco has great numbers in his career against the White Sox. He's been good this year. Not a ton of success in this lineup against Carrasco. Why is this number dropped to 8.5? Look, if you got 9, salute to you. You're a sharp better if you got 9. If you have 9 in this game and you show me it, I will fucking shout you out till I can't shout you out no more. It's good shit if you're able to do it. Because this is a sharp move. If you got 9, good for you. You know what you're doing in baseball. I don't think many people did, but good for you. I have a weird feeling, and I've had this feeling with this Indians team before, where they're facing a lefty, and they make them look like fucking Sandy Koufax. It's the 4th inning. They have 1 hit. I'm trying to remember who it was against when they did this. It was a bad pitcher. I know that. It was like, I don't know, someone shitty. It might have even been someone for the White Sox. I think it was Nova, actually. It was Ivan Nova for the White Sox. Ivan Nova was getting crushed. He comes in and gets the job done here. So take that for what it's worth. But I will say this: I don't like grabbing an underdog price here either, because I think Carrasco's been really good against the White Sox in his career. So 8.5 looks good, but you're obviously not getting the best number here. You kind of hope maybe this was slept on and no one jumped on it. But that's why sharps are sharps. They get on this kind of stuff. If you still want to share your favorite feelings we have as adults and people, let me know. We went through a lot of those good ones. Just something to get you thinking here. Warriors Raptors coming up. Jeff has the best content of anyone alive. Wow, that's very nice of you. Thank you. I agree. Listen, I'm not fake. That's one thing about me that I will never be, is fugazi. It's not going to happen. If you don't like what I have to say, fair enough. We don't agree. There's probably people in Iowa that watch my show and say, Jesus Christ, I would never hang out with that dude in real life. And that's fine. That should be what you think about me. We're not the same culturally. That's fine. We have one common theme that we agree on: sports. Whether you like Donald Trump or you don't, whether you're gay or not, whether you're a woman or not, it doesn't matter to me. I respect everyone's opinion sports-wise. I'm not going to try to throw my opinions on you. I have my things that I enjoy, okay? It's that simple. Guys like Teddy B. I actually liked Teddy B initially. He just kind of became a troll, and I don't think that's who he is. And I wish he wouldn't be like that. Always riding people. I don't like that. Listen, if you're a troll, you're a troll. I don't think you're a troll, though, Teddy. I really don't. And I think you try to be one, and you shouldn't, because that's – too many people try too hard on Twitter. They're trying to be funny. They're trying to be entertaining. Listen, you either are entertaining or you're not. It's that simple. You either can command a room or you can't. You either can walk into a room and people say, whoa, who's that guy? Or you can't. It's that simple. And, as I've said before, I feel like I'm destined for better things than what I'm doing. Not saying that I'm not doing anything here. I'm very proud that I've been able to elevate myself to a point of like people know who I am, in a small facet. I'm not a fucking model guy. I don't look at analytics. I don't know, this and that. But here's one thing I do know. I know a ton about sports and I can make it entertaining and talk about it. These model guys, these guys that have no street smarts whatsoever, in the real world, being like really smart doesn't get you very far. I hate to tell you. You can go work at fucking MIT, go to MIT and be a fucking analytics guy. Yeah, that's cool and all, but you have no real world experience whatsoever. And you get chewed up and spit out if you had to be on the street and you had to deal for yourself. I'm a triple threat. I got it all. I grew up very well, but I made sure I went out and experienced stuff that I wouldn't normally experience because I wanted those experiences, all that kind of thing. So if you're that way, and if you want to get into content games, you want to get a company to pay you to do shit, or you want to create your own channel or something, that's what you have to be. You have to be able to do shit like that. So if you want to, you don't push it. You don't try to be something you're not. You just do it. You can't make a beagle a pit bull. He's a beagle. He can try as hard as he wants. He's still a beagle. And you can try to act like you know what you're talking about. I am sharp. I get every early line. I'm this, I'm that. First of all, none of us can relate to that. Second of all, the real world doesn't really work like that. So you have three different types of people in this business. You have people like me who just have fun and try to win and know a ton about everything and are entertaining. Or you have people that are too smart where no one really relates to them and we wouldn't want to talk to them anyway because they're fucking boring. And they make models and shit. Or you have that guy that's, God's gift to earth and, he has a ton of money and you don't. He drives a Ferrari and you don't. He gets 5 G's a game in every game and you don't. Sports books don't take his action because he's too smart. You don't. He's banned everywhere in Vegas. You don't. We've all seen those people, right? They're not relatable. So you can make your money, but long term, you're not cool. No one thinks you're cool. So good, make your money, but long term, it's not working. Do you remember the last time so many baseball games went over? Yeah, look, last year was a lot of overs. That's just how baseball is now. A lot of runs, a lot of hits, a lot of home runs, a lot of strikeouts. It's quick. Bad bullpens. There's not a lot of great starting pitchers left in baseball. Seriously, think about it. Who are the top 5 best pitchers in baseball? Right now, there's not a lot of good ones. Seriously. Scherzer's great, but, he's not had a great year. Kershaw's getting older. I guess Verlander, but, he's on his last few years. Who are the best pitchers in baseball? I'll tell you who's the best pitcher in baseball. Guys like Mike Minor, people like that. They're pitching really well. Jordan Lyles, random people. And again, I wouldn't put Mike Minor as the best pitcher in baseball, but some of them are pitching like they are. Any updates on your Barstool opportunity? Yeah, I was texting with Dave, actually. I'll be up there next week, hopefully. Kind of just tying what day down. Dave Portnoy is the man of many things. So he's got a lot going on. He's up in Boston for games 1 and 2. He's going to St. Louis for 3 and 4, back to Boston for 5. So a lot going on right now. He was out in Pebble Beach. He was at, all the races and, Preakness and all different stuff. So Dave's a busy guy. So we will meet up hopefully next week and hopefully tie everything down. That's the goal. I'm ready to take the world by storm. I'm ready to face all of it. I'll tell you right now, this is the truth. The first thing I put out from there, you're going to want to read. It's going to be really well done, and it's going to address everything. It's going to be my Marshall Mathers moment, as they say. So make sure you're there for that. The last thing I'll say, okay, because I'm offering, this is one of the last full shows I'm ever going to do on this channel. At least I hope. If you want to do something, go do it. Seriously. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be sexy. Go do it. It's that simple. If you want something, go fucking do it. And it's really that easy. If you're working a job and you don't like it, change it. You only live one life. You know, make sure you have people that are supportive around you. They'll help you out, and that's that. This might sound fucking lame to a lot of you, but if I get a job like that, I will weep personally and privately. I will. Because I've worked a lot of fucking time to do all this shit. I put a lot of fucking time in. I've done so many shows. Do you know how many fucking things I left early? I didn't do. I neglected because of all this. Back at SPR, I mean, I wasn't getting that much there, you know, but I knew every show that I did, the ones where no one watched, the ones where I had to fucking fight to get people to come on. Yeah, the ones like this where, you know, the whole world's not watching, but it's all practice. Do you know how many shows I've done that I've never put out? I just did them to do them. I do them because I like hearing my voice back and I can retain information that way. So yes, if I get something like this, I will take it and I will run with it because that's what people like me do. I'm not a follower, I'm a leader, and I will go do it. Because I just work harder than everybody else. Whether you hate me, you don't like me, you love me, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to work harder than you. And from the fucking start of doing this, when I worked at a bank and I would come home and I would do videos and then I created a channel and I did all this stuff. All of it is because I did it. I'm not like one of these people that goes on SBR and props himself up through other people's success like most people do. Nobody knew who the fuck I was when I went on SBR. I grabbed it and I took it. I didn't attach myself with anybody. In fact, I pushed them away. I'm not these kids that go on these shows that nobody knows and they ride on the back of others. I don't do that. I've never done it. I was the fucking kid. I was the guy. I created it myself. I'm the fucking one who knocks. It's that simple. All the followers I have, I got them. I didn't buy them. Oh, big man, all he cares about is followers. Fuck yes, that's all I care about. That's the business I'm in. I want people to watch what I do. That's what I'm doing. Of course I care about followers. So if you want it, go do it. I've been on Twitter for over 10 years. That's why people know who I am outside of SBR. And I don't need SBR as a crutch. I pushed certain people at that website away. Guys like Donnie Rightside, guys like me, guys like all these guys. There's only a few. Those are the guys that actually, Donnie Rightside, he had a regular job too. He took a shot and now he's very happy. You know, so you got to do what you got to do. All right, let's get to Warriors Raptors, and then we'll kind of wrap up things. If you have a comment or question, feel free to make it known. Listen, there's not a lot for me to say about this game. I've previewed it. I've talked about it. I've been all over it. I reviewed it on my channel with Ski Profit. I like Golden State in the series. They will win this series. But in game one, I'm all over Toronto, in fact. And I'm going to make it very known. I like Toronto here. I'm not going to hide it. I think Toronto will steal this game. And does it scare me to bet against the Warriors? Sure it does. The Warriors are an elite franchise, and they're a dynasty. But there's something about this game that I just don't understand why they're a favorite. I just don't. I think they use Um, the adrenaline from Game 6. They're gonna have a great crowd there. First finals game in forever. I'll tell you right now, first half's not a bad bet either. You kind of want to avoid that full game because we know the Warriors in the second half generally roll. But I think that early on, Toronto's going to put up a little fight here. And I know they don't have good game one numbers. In fact, their game one numbers in the playoffs are pure shit. I'm going against all of it. I think Nurse has his team prepared. I think you get people stepping up, like, your Van Fleets, your people like that. I think this game's pretty even. I really do. At least tonight. Look, I don't know if the Raptors are going to win many games out of this, but I'm interested. I again will relate this to game 1, 2001 NBA Finals, Philadelphia 76ers and Lakers. Nobody gave the Lakers or the Sixers any chance. Not saying that no one gives the Raptors any chance, but I don't think anyone thinks that the Raptors are going to win this series. The difference is Toronto is a much better team than the Sixers had. All they had was Allen Iverson. In fact, there was only 2 double-digit scores for the Sixers that game. Allen Iverson and I believe Aaron McKee. They were the only double-digit scorers for the Sixers. Everyone else was in single digits. And you know what? Allen Iverson put them on his back, and they got the job done. They didn't win another game, but it worked. It's the quintessential finals game. The other team is better than the other team, and you don't think they have any chance, and they find a way to steal one. I don't have a lot of stats to back it up. I don't have a fucking model to tell you what's going to happen here because what happened 120 years ago matters here. Here's what I see. I see the Warriors, who the public and betting public love. They adore, frankly. They opened as a favorite, and they're now an underdog. It's that simple. No other way. And by the way, for anyone that's curious, this is the worst defensive team Golden State has had in this run. From a defensive efficiency standpoint, this is the worst team they've had. Not saying they don't have very good elite, individual defenders. They do. But listen, Raptors are playing really well right now. Got to give them some love. I don't want to because I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like the Raptors, but I mean, you got to respect them. You got to respect them. So that's what I'm on. Give me the Raptors tonight. And look, if you're on the Warriors, I don't blame you. I mean, I'm not excited about this, but it is what it is. I do have a premium play tonight. It is in baseball. If you want to join us, we have a new month getting going this weekend. You can. BMOCsports@gmail.com. I'm not going to push it down your throat. You want to join a select group of people that get and appreciate my work? You can. I think I do a lot of really nice stuff for free people as well. So if you want to give back, BMOCsports@gmail.com. But yeah, I'm on the Raps tonight. And I'm sure I'll be cursing myself out in the third quarter because I'll say to myself, why the fuck? Why did I bet against the Warriors? Why did I do it? Do we see Cousins much this series? We'll see him. I think he could be a difference, sure. I will say for the series, Golden State -1.5, I definitely like. I think they win 4-1, maybe 4-2. But yeah, I think you have to respect Toronto. I think they're remarkable defensively, remarkable. And Kawhi Leonard is the closest thing we have to Michael Jordan. And again, I said that before it was cool to say it. I've said it weeks ago. It's funny with Toronto. I really don't hate the entire team. I just don't like Lowry. I'm just not a big Lowry guy. Fair enough. I've been a pro gambler for 20 plus years, but I'm just starting to build a little something. Hard work pays off. You earned yours. Well, thank you. I don't need anyone else to prop me up. Let's do it, Eric. I agree. I agree. Lay it and play it. I agree. Any thoughts on the total? You know, that's a good question, actually. My first thought was under. I obviously think this game's close. Yeah, I think, it's the NBA Finals. I mean, but then I kind of think of, well, I'm not a big Golden State. I don't like betting unders in their games, and I don't know how good they are defensively. I don't know if I'm going to be on many totals. And in fact, I don't know how much I'm going to be on this, game to game. But tonight, I like Toronto. That could change, and I'll be in Atlantic City on Saturday for Game 2. Yeah, maybe I'll have a play on that. But in this game, I like Toronto. Total's tough. What's your play today? I gave out Tampa Rays. We're going head to head. Well, may the best man win. Heart wants Warriors. Numbers say Raptors. I hear you. I don't think my heart really doesn't say anything. I don't. I'm happy because both these teams, I wouldn't mind seeing losing. All right. This is a good one. Big man, is it true your hatred for Toronto is because of your arch nemesis, Maxwell Smart? Well, first of all, he's not my arch nemesis. Second of all, I don't have any hatred for Toronto. I really just do it to fuck with those Raptor fans. And third of all, I wouldn't call him an arch nemesis. What about him is an arch nemesis? He does his thing and I do mine. It's that simple. I don't know the man. I'll never know who he is. I'll never meet him. His life is his life. My life's mine. I got to tell you, man, outside of the core group of people that I like in this business, my family and my friends, I couldn't give a shit what those people do. I wish him the best. I'm not gonna talk any more about it. I mean, I don't need to. I hope he has much success, just like me. Um, there's a great scene in the movie The Gambler, if you've ever seen it. And I'm talking about the newest movie, The Gambler, with Mark Wahlberg, where John Goodman says, you want to get to the point where you can have fuck you money. I'm trying to make fuck you money. Not get rich. I'm not going to get rich, but I want to have something where I can just, that's always been my goal in life, the fuck you money. No one in my family works for any company. No one. We all have our own thing. My sister has her own thing. Brother has his own thing. My mother, father have their own thing. That's my goal. Fuck you money. That's all I care about. I don't care about any other people anymore. I don't. So him and everybody else, I wish them the best. Take it easy, Eric. Yep, disrupting chemistry. That's a good point, Alan. Good point. Your breakdowns are second to none. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Cheers. Artez is over the number. All right. I'm not on the total. All right, guys, 5 more minutes will be on here. If you have any final points, questions, concerns, gripes, feel free to send them in. Again, it's funny. We always have open lines for people to convey their issues, but, it's funny. They never show up. Call in on Periscope. Nobody ever does. That's the great thing about trolls in this business, because when you actually confront them, they all clam up in person. They all clam up. Golden State or Toronto? You're a little late, Jerry. We just talked about it. You can rewind the show a little bit. I like Toronto. Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate that. Good luck to you too, man. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate all of you watching. You're all very good and kind. Even the people that come in to stir shit up. Thank you, William. Appreciate that. Also, I will be on tomorrow. I'm not going to go to the show until Saturday morning. So I'll be on tomorrow. Be a regular Friday. But all in all, it should be a good night. You got some good games to watch. You got all sorts of things to keep your eye on. So yeah, for me tonight, I am taking the Tampa Rays. I'm not buying the big price. Looks like a trap to me. Any props that I like? No, I'm not a prop guy. Don't really play those. I mean, I like props, just not player props. I'm more of a situational prop guy. Drafts, things like that. I just told you my opinion. I talked for 15 minutes about my opinion. You're welcome to rewind. I just told you, though, I like the Raptors, brother. You got to listen. I have tears in my eyes thinking of no more big man shows. I'm not going to have no more shows. I'm just in kind of transit right now. I'm figuring out what I'm going to do. But here's one guarantee for you, and I'm going to make this very clear. There will be plenty of content coming up from me. Question is, where is it going to be? You know, it could be at a cool website. It could be on here. But you know what? It's summer, so that's what's cool about it. We can mix and match stuff. Either way, you're going to see me doing this. It's not like I'm like stopping this and going to do like, fucking mechanic work or I'm going to own a restaurant. No, I'm just going to do it somewhere else. I'm an amateur cage fighter. Winning in a cage is the best feeling ever. Yeah, I talked about that yesterday. I've knocked someone out before, and I agree. It's a great feeling. All right, Jerry Connor. Why do you have a blue shirt on and you go off at Toronto? Because this is the shirt I decided to wear today. I'm not sure what that has anything to do with Toronto, but okay. I missed that one. That one went over maybe in my head. I'll be on tomorrow, Chris. Let's get it, Carol. Thanks for watching. Carol Preston likes the Raptors reluctantly. Some things you got to be reluctant in this game, Carol. But all right, guys, I'll be on tomorrow. Probably on Periscope a little bit later. Having some fun on there. Always enjoyable doing Periscopes. And guys, again, I hate to have kind of this, I don't know what's going on next kind of thing, but it's just where I'm at right now. So, I'll be in this business, whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else, is your guess. So we'll have something, but, after tomorrow, it's going to be just put on hold for a week or two. So, you know where to find me. Follow me on Twitter at Jeff Nadeau. I'll be on here tomorrow, Saturday or Friday, same time. We'll go over the baseball card. We'll recap the NBA game, and we'll have some fun as well. So have a nice day. Have a nice night. Enjoy the games tonight. Bye-bye.